Emergency planning. Emergency planning is the course of action a company takes in order to minimize the effect of an incident or crisis. The main objective of emergency planning is to reduce injuries, protect the community, and maintain business continuity. I have an emergency plan. The major benefit of providing guidance during an emergency, developing the plan has other advantages. You may discover and recognize hazardous conditions that will aggravate an emergency situation, and you can work to eliminate them. The planning process may bring to light deficiencies such as lack of resources, equipment, trained personnel, supply, or items that can be corrected before an emergency occurs. Emergency plan promotes safety awareness and shows the organization commitment the safety of workers. The lack of emergency plan can lead to severe losses, such as multiple casualties and possible financial collapse of the organization. Since emergency will occur, pre-planning is necessary. An urgent need for rapid decision, shortage of time, and lack of resources and trained personnel can lead to a chaos during emergency. Time and circumstances in an emergency mean that normal channel of authority and communication cannot be relied upon to function routedly. The stress of the situation can lead to a poor judgment, resulting in a severe losses. A well thought out, well-organized emergency response will help eliminate these issues. What is the overall objective of the plan? An emergency plan specific procedure for handling sudden or unexpected situation. The objective is to be prepared to prevent fatalities and injuries, reduce damage to building, stock and equipment, protect the environment and the community, accelerate the resumption and normal operation. Development of the plan begin with a vulnerability assessment. The result of the study will show how likely a situation is to occur, what means are available to stop or prevent the situation, what is necessary for a given situation. From this analysis, appropriate emergency procedure can be established. All the planning stage. It is important that the relevant individuals or group be asked to participate. Member of the team can include employees with knowledge of the work, supervisor of the area or work, safety officer, health and safety committee, union representative if applicable, employees with experience in investigation, outside expert, representative from local government, police, fire or ambulance. Where appropriate, other organization should also be consulted, especially when your organization plan involve using outside resources such as fire, police, ambulance. In some situation, one organization may develop shared response teams with neighboring organization. What is vulnerability assessment? Although emergency, by definition, are sudden events, their occurrence can be predicted with some degree of certainty. The first step is to identify which hazard pose a threat of your organization. Since major emergency are rare event, records of past incidents, and occupational experience are not the only source of valuable information. Knowledge of both technological, chemical or physical, and natural hazard can be broadened by consulting with similar organization, fire department, insurance, companies, engineering, consultant, and government department. The risk from natural hazard is not the same across Canada, but the list would include floods, earthquakes, tornado, severe windstorms, snow or ice storm, severe extreme in temperature, cold or hot, pandemic disease like influenza. The possibility of one event triggered other must be considered. An explosion may start a fire and cause structural failure, while an earthquake might initiate many of technology events listed above. What is the series of event or decision that would be considered? Having identified the hazard, the possible major impact of each should be itemized, such as sequential event, for example, fire after an explosion, evacuation, casualty, damage to plant infrastructure, loss of vital record or documents, damage to equipment, disruption of work. Based on this event, the required action are determined. For example, declared emergency, sound the alert, evacuate danger zone, close main shut off, call for external DID, initiate rescue operation, attend to casualties, fight fire, also considered as rescue resource as required in their location, such as medical supplies, auxiliary communication equipment, power generators, respiratory, chemical and rational detection equipment, mobile equipment, emergency protective clothing, firefighting equipment, ambulance, rescue equipment, trained personnel. What are the elements of the emergency plan? The emergency plan includes all possible emergencies, consequences, required action, written procedure, and the resources available. Detailed list of emergency response personnel, including their cell phone numbers, alternative contact details, and their duties and responsibilities. Floor plan, large-scale map showing evacuation routes and service conducted. Since a sizable document will likely result, the plan should provide staff members with separate written instruction about their particular emergency response duty. The following are examples of the parts of an emergency plan. These elements may not cover every situation in every workplace, but it serves as a general guideline when writing a workplace-specific plan. Objective. The objective is a brief summary of the purpose of the plan. That is, to reduce human injury and damage to property and environment in an emergency. It also specifies those staff members who may put the plan in action. The objective identifies clearly who these staff members are, since the normal chain of command cannot always be available on short notice. At least one of them must be on site at all times when the premises are occupied. The extent of authority of this personnel must be clearly indicated. Organization. One individual should be appointed to train to act as emergency coordinator as well as a backup coordinator. However, personnel on site during an emergency are key in ensuring that prompt and effective action is taken to minimize loss. In some cases, it may be possible to recall off-duty employees to help, but the critical initial decision usually must be made immediately. Specific duties, responsibilities, authority, and resources must be clearly identified. Among the responsibilities that must be assigned are reporting the emergency, activating the emergency plan, assuming overall command, establishing communication, provide medical aid, alerting staff, ordering response including evacuation, alerting external agencies as necessary, confirming evacuation is complete, alerting outside population of possible risk as necessary, requesting external aid, coordinating activities of various groups, advising relatives of casualties, provide medical aid, ensuring emergency shut-off are closed, sounding it's all clear, advising media. Many factors determine what procedures are needed in an emergency, such as nature of emergency, degree of emergency, size of organization, capabilities of organization in an emergency situation, immediacy of outside aid, physical layout of the premises. Common elements to be considered in all emergencies include pre-emergency preparation and provision of alerting and evacuating staff, handling casualties, and for containing the hazard. Natural hazards such as flood or severe storm often provide prior warning. The plan should take advantage of such warning with, for example, instruction on sandbagging, removal of equipment to needed location, provide alternate source of power, light or water, extra equipment, and relocation of personnel with specific skill. Phase state alert allows such as measures to be initiated on clearly or orderly manner. The following are must. Identify evacuation route, alternate means to escape, make this known to all staff, keep the route unobstructed. Specify safe location for all staff to gather for head counts to ensure that everyone has left the danger zone. Assign individuals to assist employees with disabilities. Carry out treatment of the injured and search for the missing simultaneously with effort to contain the emergency. Provide alternate sources of medical aid when normal facilities may be in the danger zone. Ensure that safety of all staff first, then deal with the fire or other situation. Testing and revision. Completing and comprehensive plan for handling emergency is a major step forward preventing disaster. The plan should be revised when shortcomings have become known and should be reviewed at least annually. Changes in plant infrastructure, processes, material use, and key personnel are occasions for updating the plan. It should be stressed that provision must be made for the training of both individuals and teams. If they are expected to perform adequately in an emergency, an annual full-scale exercises will help in maintaining a high level of sufficiency.